Welcome back at 8:22. We saw such devastating images from tornadoes across the area, especially in Mullica Hill, New Jersey.
So what can these people do, and what should you do if this happens to you? We're going to get some advice now from civil attorney Lance Rogers. He's the managing partner of Rogers Counsel. So good morning, Lance. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Nick. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so let's get right to it. What do you do after such a loss, a home getting destroyed or a car getting waterlogged? For so many of these people, they're just simply overwhelmed with the situation. What can you do?
Nick, it is overwhelming, and there are some steps that can be taken to prevent further loss down the road. The first thing these people need to do is assess the situation, understand what their true loss is, and take steps to memorialize what that loss was. Not everybody lost their entire home, but there are some significant losses that have occurred, and people need to take pictures of those losses, set aside items that were damaged, and immediately contact their insurer.
Document, right. Good point.
All right, so how about cleaning everything up? How do people handle that? Do you wait for a professional? Do you do it yourself? How do you sort of cope with this?
Amanda, I would recommend that people contact a qualified remediation specialist, depending on the scope of the destruction. Obviously, the pictures that we've seen this morning demonstrate that there are some people who have had total losses. Their homes have been destroyed. They're going to need to contact more than a remediation specialist. Unfortunately, they're going to need the help of contractors above and beyond that, builders. But your insurance company should give you some guidance on qualified contractors that you can use. And the simple steps that you need to keep in mind and follow are that not everyone out there, not all the contractors, not all the remediation specialists are ones that you should be working with. I would ask in your community, talk to folks who have used these contractors and remediation specialists before, and make sure that you know who you're getting into a business relationship with. Look, this loss was devastating for many people, but in order to stop the loss and move on, you need to take some simple steps to protect yourself. Know who you're doing business with, first of all, but the most important thing, Amanda, is talk to an attorney before you sign a contract with these contractors or remediation specialists.
Okay.
And Lance, that leads us to the next question. From your personal experience dealing with clients, do you see some people dealing with a lot of price gouging from insurance companies, or in some cases, you know, those cleanup crews themselves, when they perhaps come to you a little bit late after the process has already begun?
Sure, Nick, and think about it. What's going on out there right now? Before this destruction even occurred, we had a lack or a shortage of contractors out there. People are staying at home because of COVID. They're improving their homes. Contractors were in high demand, and let's face it, I've heard a lot of stories, and I'm sure you have, about people not getting contractors to call them back. Now that this destruction and devastation occurred, contractors are even in higher demand. And what that means is that when folks reach out to a contractor or a remediation specialist, the contractor and remediation specialists are going to increase their rates, and they're also going to put pressure on folks to sign a contract even faster. And that's where people need to back up, stop, take a breath, and consult with a professional before they get into a situation that they can't get out of.
Great advice.
Yeah. So speaking of professionals, do you recommend using a public adjuster? Because you've already sort of told us about getting an attorney. You think, obviously, you are an attorney. You think that that is a good idea. But what about a public adjuster?
So, Amanda, let's understand the difference between a public adjuster and an attorney. Public adjusters are licensed professionals by the state. They do a wonderful job of serving as an advocate for an insured person against the insurer. So what they're going to do is tally up your loss. They're going to advocate on your behalf and get the insurer to pay out the max value. Why? Because they typically build their compensation based on what you get. They're great advocates when you're dealing with an insurer on a loss that's been recognized. You're going to talk to an attorney when you have a loss that might not be recognized or accepted by the insurer, or you're entering into a contract now with a contractor after the insurer has paid you or recognized your loss, and you're moving forward in the restoration process. And I can't underscore this enough. It's so crucial that people talk to an attorney prior to signing their contract. My firm gets calls every day from folks who have signed a contract, realize that they're in trouble, and it makes the attorney's job and the process so much more difficult. If people would just spend a few minutes with an attorney prior to signing an agreement, they would save themselves so much time and money.
Wow, great advice. Lance Rogers from Rogers Counsel. Where can people go to get more information about what you guys do?
They can certainly give us a call at 610-228-0222. 888-222 or visit us on the web, www.rogerscounsel.com.
All right. Thanks so much, Lance. It was a pleasure. Really good advice for folks.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm.